but I guess I have disabled it. Let's anyway, it's recording.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so yeah,
Yes.
so, fine. So it's try to resolve the cache, and then it will try to find out the backend web server of it, google.com. Okay, and it will try to fetch the data from here. So basically, you try to what we all know is uh, we'll try to develop an app or a website, right? And you browse it, correct? Apart from that, do you know any between intermediate stages? No ideas. So that I can answer. I can explain better. Okay. So you don't know any deployment or something, so you'll directly access it, right? So some X company or X so and so X project or brand will develop their website or work for their website and will simply access it, right? But within these two points, okay, there are lots of things will go, okay. So they'll just won't develop an app or website, okay. So it has to go through certain level of uh, what I can say cycle or life cycles, okay, for which we can have a quality or a better website, okay, productive website, okay. It's not something like we are just developing, they are just developing and giving it right away, okay. So the phase will start from here, okay, from planning section, and it always it goes coding, which means first they'll look at what the user or the company needs are trying to give it to the user, okay. They'll plan, they'll come to a discussion like what are the features that we need, and uh, what kind of options that we need to enable to end user, so how it should look like, what kind of features that we need to provide, okay, etc. Then they'll start developing the code, whether it is in java or what I can say c sharp, okay, or .net, okay, etc. They'll use or okay, they'll use and develop the code, okay. Then they will build is nothing but they'll kind of, if you know java, or if you might have come across, you might have heard some command like java c, okay, java c space java dot like hello world dot java or something like that, right? So it's a basic hello world dot java, right? So you might have come across this kind of keywords. If not also, then it is fine. So will kind of, what I'll say, it will build, which means it will try to compile. See, you have developed something and you want to make it as an application, so it's something like you have to uh, w- uh, check the code for errors, warnings, etc., or kind of security things, etc. So you have to bundle that code to package some kind of package, so that it will, you will keep all the website needed things into one place, so that when you put it in a web browser, it will start taking that code and run it, okay. So that part will happen in the build section. Then we'll test it in the sense, let's say if you have some website, so it, you might have seen some cases that the particular option will not work until you hit 2 to 3 times, or it will be visible for something. Let's say you have this symbol. When you click this one, you can see the hexagon is coming, but sometimes it will not come. So those kind of testing should be done before releasing it to production or kind of user, so that user will have a better uh, experience, instead of having like instead of getting frustrated with that. So let's say it has these many options, and when if you want to know what is the option that is working out of these things, user cannot sit by clicking all these, right? So if you have enabled these many options, if it works, then user feels very much comfortable and they'll have some trust on this particular application, correct? Or else they look for another application. Then so those kind of testings, like people will have means project will have testers to test this, or a developer itself will do a testing kind of. They'll install this application locally, and they'll see whether this application works and whether this particular option works as intended. Say, let's say if you click on rounded rectangle, it should not give the arrow, right? So backend uh, calls also it should happen properly. And then package is nothing but it will like once the build and testing is done, means it clears, then it will kind of bundle that source code completely. Like let's say you have one file for this section and one another file for this section, uh, what I can say, access, and then another file for colors, then another file for view section. So you have to keep all those four files in one place, and then should release it to user, so that user no need to pick one after the other file every time. So if say simply copy that particular bundle, all those four files will come and sit in his laptop or desktop, so that it will be very much friendly. Okay. Then release is something like first it will have so many phases. Okay, so I can say release phases. I'm talking it as, but it should not be not release phases. It is something like development phase, or what I can say, testing phases. Okay, it has different sections. Okay, it will have development phase, which we'll call as dev phase, and then testing phase. So it again it has in the testing phase quality assurance, and then user acceptance testing, which means the particular project will have some end users, which means similar to like us and means me and you. So which is the end customer that is using the product. Okay, and then acceptance testing, a user that is a user acceptance testing, then performance testing. Okay, how the application is working. Okay, whether see when I click on this rulers, it should not uh, enable after 1 minute or 20 seconds. Immediately it should enable, right? So those kind of testings. And then uh, a kind of quality check, pre-production check. Okay, so which means as stage. Okay, so these are the testings, release phases that every single business has. It not necessary that every single business should have. So based on the business need and the what I can say, the amount of investment that the project want to keep. So based on that, they'll have the necessary environments, because each environment has some needs some servers and people to maintain it, right? So it's not so easy. So if you say uh, development environment needs one environment, which means one laptop. QA also needs one laptop, another laptop. UAT needs another laptop. So performance test needs another laptop. So if a poor guy has a company running, so he cannot afford these many laptops, right? So in the sense, kind of servers. So each one is costly. So they'll have the environments up and running based on their capability. economical capability and their need, right? Okay, so they'll deploy it to production, and you will be seeing happy customers. Okay, so when I say happy customers, everything is working fine. And
Ramesh,
yes.
performance test and pre-prod test. Can you explain again?
Okay, so performance test is nothing but uh, when I say, when I click this drop down, it should appear immediately. Like if you select drop down, and it is
Mm.
slowly rotating and coming right. So do you feel frustrated or not? So
Mm.
if I click here triangle symbol, and if I get triangle immediately, then I'll feel happy, right? The application should work as much as faster, right? So let's say if you have a mobile, and when you click on uh, contacts or WhatsApp, it let's say it has opened after a minute, and you are in a
Okay.
hurry. You want to make a call immediately. So how do you feel? Do you like that kind of mobile anymore? No, right? So
Mm.
you'll be frustrated, and you'll throw the phone at some immediately onto the ground sometimes, right? So when you have some application, let's say if I click on red button, it should have red. When I click yellow, it should come. So how
Mm.
frequent, like how immediately it is changing, right? So
Yes.
this is kind of measurement, the performance of the application. Okay. And
Mm.
then stage is nothing but prod is nothing but production. So before deploying it to production, if like let's say some big companies like Walmart, H&M, or Sony, HP, etc., etc., so they have some pre-production environments to where they'll deploy their developed changes into one particular environment, and they'll just have a round of testing for safer side. Okay, caution environment, I can say. So they'll deploy everything, and they'll just have one more round of testing on a high level, whether everything is working fine or not. Okay, so here they'll not do any rigorous testing. So just the basic things, high level they'll do. Kind of, suppose when I let's say if this particular section has some URL. So if you remember, when you click, if a particular word of file or paint file, if it has a website, and if you hover the mouse over the URL and click, automatically the browser will pop up and open that application, open that URL, right? So those kind of integrations, let's say when you click on the URL in the paint section, so it should talk to browser and it will open that browser. So those kind of things also, they'll check. Okay, they'll make sure that everything is working fine. And these are the phases. Then they'll operate is nothing but they'll make sure that, so let's say you have deployed a website, or see that you have Amazon, correct? You will have um, sometimes during your Black Friday days and other holidays sections. So you have some offers running in those websites, right? Not only Amazon, in the other things, other websites too, correct? So at that time, can you imagine how the uh, user accessibility increases to those websites? So per second, some millions of users will be hitting the website, correct? So the website should withstand for that particular that amount of load. So let's say you have a simple if I want to clearly explain, you have an uh, X brand of laptop. Okay, it has 1 GB of RAM and 10 GB of hard disk. Okay, and you are trying to install so okay, it has 10 GB of hard disk. I think these are things fine. Anyway, 100 Gbps ethernet card. Okay, okay, so ethernet card. So you have taken this laptop and you have installed OS on top of it and trying to install Microsoft product, let's say Excel, PowerPoint, etc. bundle, and then you have installed a browser, you have installed a let's say some video game, and etc etc. So can this laptop withstand when you open all those applications in parallel? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, up to some extent, but as it has only 1 GB of RAM in total and very 10 GB of hard disk, so when you open those kind of high-end products, let's say a video game and Microsoft products, so it start consuming the RAM and you will run out of RAM, correct?
Yes.
At particular time. So you can even run into a situation of let's say your laptop get crashed and it you'll keep getting blue screen. Those kind of things will happen, right? So it's the same similar to this website also. It has some configuration with for the backend server so that it can withstand up to particular users only. Okay, so let's say if that server has the capability to run only for 100 users, and if one at one user coming into the website, then automatically the server will get crashes because it doesn't have any resources to serve the particular response. Okay, so those kind of maintenance or operation should be done over the website or on the project level. Are you clear?
Okay.
Okay. Vishal, what about you? I'm not hearing anything from you.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Oh, you are just still here, right? Okay. Just kind of check so that I'm not missing anyone. Okay, great. So and then monitor is something like which like to be a better competitor in the outer world, because we have so many competitors right now, right? If you take Amazon, uh, I'm not sure about the other countries. um, we have here Flipkart, Snapdeal, etc etc. Whatever the category you take, we have plenty of uh, competitors are available in the outer world, correct? So if you give, let's say if you have a chocolate with you 5 star, and if you are giving for 5 rupees, let's say Bishal is giving for 5 rupees and Amrita is preparing same kind of chocolate, and almost the taste, everything, and the quality, quantity, everything is similar, and you are giving for one more half, like half penny lesser, obviously people will try not to go to Amrita first, but when people started testing and they um, seen that these two are similar and everything is matching, but they are getting for less price uh, from Arpita, obviously people start going to Arpita, sorry, Amrita, correct? So that's
Yes.
how if
Price
if
matter.
if the business start moving away, then it will not so easy to retain the people, correct? So you have
Yes.
to check, you have to monitor the market, you have to check the people pulse, how they are reacting and what are our competitors. It's not about monitoring in the sense like monitoring competitors, etc., but to monitoring more towards infrastructure. Okay, how our website is performing, how many users are coming, how our services are running, whether everything is working fine or not, etc., etc. We need to check. Okay, so these when
Yes.
these many actions perform together, then only an application will survive to extent of user load and will get a happy users. Okay, at least at the accessibility level. Fine. So it's not that okay we are browsing so and so website perfectly, and a garment, let's say a t-shirt is coming for $1,000, which is not so easy. So it doesn't mean that customer is not happy. I'm not talking about at the uh, item level. So it's about the more towards infrastructure that we should maintain these many things so that when a user wants to try something or trying to buy something in a particular website, then he will feel happy that everything is working fine. Got my point?
Yes. Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So this complete process is called DevOps, which means it's a strategy or methodology which tie two people together. It's a development people plus operations. Okay. So development in the sense from here, from
Ramesh,
this section to
in Ramesh, I want
yeah.
to ask some question. In in phase of code, mostly which language is used? I think Java only or Python.
It is up to the project need. So it can be Python, Java, .NET, C Sharp,
Oh,
or
okay.
they can even develop application with what I can say a simple shell script or
Mm,
PowerShell script, anything. So it's
okay.
up to the business need, what kind of tool they want to use.
Okay.
Okay, language.
Yeah.
So from here to here, you can say it's a
Yeah.
developer work,
Yes.
and from here, it's not really operations, but a tester will do here. Okay, and then these are all things an operation person will do. Okay, so DevOps is a strategy or methodology which tied these two people together to perform the operations in an automated way. It's not necessarily in an automated way, but in a better way by taking the feedback, like too many feedback loops. Okay, it's not in a like first we'll plan, code everything, and then we will test. Uh, will test because people we should keep handing over it to different people, right? It's not like one developer will sit, one tester will sit, and one operation guy will sit. We'll have 100 developers, 20 testers, and 50 operation guys to maintain. So like it's a complete strategy to enable the code or the application go through these many process so that you will have a better better application or website at the end. Okay, so during this course we'll use certain tools for planning. Let's say for planning we'll use Jira, okay,
Yes.
Trello, and then Miro, etc. And for coding we'll use Visual Studio, and then what I can say IntelliJ IDE, Eclipse, etc., etc. For building, which is our interesting topic, interesting area here. For building, we'll use Jenkins, okay,
Mm.
or Bamboo, or Team City, or what I can say, what is other Hudson. There are different uh, tools that are available for testing. We'll have Selenium, okay, or then what I can say. Sorry, my I am writing with mouse, so anyway, you cannot see better. But anyway, you don't need to understand these many things. Selenium, and then the other kind of, I'm not getting the exact tool names, and you have load runner for performance testing, etc., etc. And for packaging, again, you will use same kind of build tools for packaging between.
Jenkins.
Sorry,
Jenkins.
yeah, Jenkins. You will use for packaging as well, and for releasing also, we can use Jenkins, or we'll have some what I can say Octopus kind of deploy tool. Okay, or
Mm.
we have Ansible. Okay, or Chef, Puppet, etc. These kind of things will have we'll say orchestration tools. Okay, and then we'll operate. Operation also will do so many. Other tools, like it's more related to network side. Okay, they'll kind of I know they'll mostly use Cisco products. Okay, I don't know the exact product name, but they are most
Cis-
towards use the Cisco products.
Cisco.
And yeah, Cisco networking tools they use. Okay, so
Okay.
they means to monitor the servers, to log into the server, to maintain the servers. And for monitoring, uh, people will use Dynatrace, and then what are the other tools? Dynatrace, and uh, we have other tools to kind of hard to. Okay, let me.
This operational is related to networking tools. Yes,
Which one?
operational.
It no need to be like operational tools. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yes. It is more towards operational, because these kind of things will come in the maintenance section, right? So these uh, the networking tools is also coming in the operational section.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll have Dynatrace, and what is the other thing? I'm not getting the tool name.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll give you in this next sections whenever I'm going through those kind of
Okay.
materials. Okay.
So
So
on a planning, coding, building, testing package, they are using different tools.
yes. So I told, right, here you will
Yeah,
use Jira or
yeah,
Trello,
Yeah.
and in the
yeah,
code section you'll use Visual Studio, IntelliJ IDE, and in the build
yeah.
section you'll use build tools like Jenkins, TeamCity, Hudson, etc. So
Yeah.
every phase will have different tools, but it is not necessary, because building and packaging you may use Jenkins, or some other person for packaging, storing, they can use JFrog kind of artifactory. Okay, or
Yeah.
Maven. Okay, internal artifactories. So it's up to the uh, project need and the economical capability. Okay, how you are going to plan. So it's up to
Okay.
the project management to decide what kind of tools we use for what purpose.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so we will DevOps definition from Microsoft. I'll take, so which can be uh, more relate towards the Azure side. Okay, cloud side. Okay, so they'll say that. Okay, means the CEO of Microsoft says that a compound of the DevOps is a it's a compound of it's a combination. Compound is nothing but it's combination of development and operations. Okay, and it's a union of people, because you have some people working here, kind of developers, and some people working in this section, and some people working in the testing section, and some people working in the release section, and some people working on the monitoring section, right? So union of people and process in the sense you have different phases of process, correct? Here you have a planning process, and you have a coding process, you have a packaging process, you have a monitoring process, right? Process and technology. Okay, to continually provide value to customers. Everyone talks about customers, because if let's say you have followed all these process or kind of what I can strategy, and you have zero end customers, then it is no longer valid, right? So you still have to improve your process so that you will have a better customers. Let's say you have developed some browser, let's say Vishal browser, and people like you have released it into outer world. People started downloading it, and everyone felt frustrated because it doesn't have the majority of the options, and browser is loading very slowly. The clarity of the content that is loading is very much poor. So anyone is interested to use that kind of browser? No, right? So if you do these much efforts to have such browser, then it is kind of putting the milk into the drainage only, right? So it will not give any work. So that's why it says a compound of development operations, and DevOps is a union of people, process, and technology to continually provide a value to customers. Okay. So customers should feel that yes, we are getting benefited because of this so and so browser or application that you have developed. Correct?
Yes.
So are you both clear until this extent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's come to the topic which we are going to learn during the next few days. So Git,
Git.
Jenkins,
Yeah.
and Ansible, right?
Ansible.
So now I think you got an understanding which tool will be used where. So Git will be used at the coding, means at the like kind of storing the code or developing the code, and Jenkins will be used to build the code, and
Mm.
Ansible will be used more towards the release side or at the operational section, right? So you got an understanding what is what, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's a not. I think I have forgot one more too,
Git.
which is in your curriculum. It's a Jira, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Jira.
So this will come at the planning section. So Jira is more towards the planning. Like, okay, so let's say we have no, we should first think about like how we need to. Yesterday I have given you the URL and asked you to test and whether it is working fine or not, whether you're able to join or not, etc. Right, Amrita? So those kind of
Yes.
things will come in the planning section, that we are making sure that everything is working fine before we are going to start. Correct? So
Okay.
those kind of things, instead of let's say I have given you WhatsApp charts that hi, this is a URL. Can you test? Can you log in? Can you hear my voice, etc., etc. So we can hear in Jira we have different things like task, story, epic, okay, and um, I'll give you the more explanation or kind of tool overview tomorrow. Okay, here
Yes.
today I'm keeping it for overview so that you all understand what is what. Okay, epic, and then uh, task, story, epic. I think these are all the sections, I guess. You story is nothing but a user story, they'll say. Okay, and then subtask, yeah, subtask. Okay, so these kind of terminologies will hear. Okay, so this is more of planning. So okay, so I can take you into Azure DevOps and I'll show you those, so that will be better. And maybe our here in this section also, you not not only Jira is one of the tool that will help in planning. So in the same way we have Miro, Trello, etc., etc. So it's up to the organization and the team which what kind of tool they are going to use. Okay, and so Git is more for storaging of the code, and Jenkins, you know now, for building and packaging purpose. Then Ansible is for orchestration purpose, which comes in the operations section. So apart from that, you now know the different tools called Visual Studio for development, IntelliJ IDE, and then Eclipse. Okay, for development purpose. Have you heard this kind of these tools before?
I heard only Visual Studio.
Okay. And Amrita, have you heard MATLAB? Because
No.
no.
Matplot.
Sorry.
Matplot I have heard.
Okay.
Matplot.
Okay. No, this is MATLAB more. They'll use in the. I don't know. You will use it the civil section, but kind of. Uh, uh, what I can say, electronics and communication background, electricals, those
Oh,
people will use mostly. Okay. And
okay.
then of course, command prompt is also a very good development tool, I can say, because you
Mm,
have this command prompt, right?
yes.
This one says, sorry, you cannot see, I guess. Let me share my full screen. So this command prompt.
Yes.
So this is also a development window, because we can do something, right? We can uh, make a directory. We can do some stuff, right? So um, it's an interactive tool between me and my computer. So command prompt, and when you say for bash, even we can use notepad plus plus etc etc. Okay. And then the Ansible is more towards orchestration tool. Okay. So what do you mean by orchestration tool is, don't worry. So I don't think that he is giving too much today, and he is going through everything and how we should remember everything. Right. I'm just giving an overview so that in depth we can start touching tomorrow. Okay. So
Okay.
Ansible is similar like orchestration tool, which means I'll say what it means. Ansible, Chef, Puppet, and we have this Terraform too nowadays. Okay. So what do you say? What do you mean by this is, so let's say you have a big organization, and you are getting the you are hiring the people, and you need 100 developers, 20 testers. Okay. 100 developers, 20 testers. Okay. And 30 operational guys. Okay. Right. So when you hire, obviously you cannot go and ask them to sit in front of servers for the operation guys, and for these people to go and sit at the Java lab or Java development center to work with the code, right? So you should at least provide them some desktop or laptop to connect to your backend servers and proceed with their planning and testing, correct? So
Yes.
let's say you have 100 people, total 150 people came in, and you have to deliver them the laptops by tomorrow or within an hour. So you cannot sit and install the operating system, require the tools, let's say Visual Studio, Git, Jenkins, uh, install one by one and handing over it to them, right? So it will take long amount of time, correct? So if you start installing all this, so one laptop will take obviously 1 to 2 hours, and 150 laptops will take 150 hours or 200 hours, which means you need 20 days, 10 days, right? But you have to deliver it next day. So for that kind of purpose, we use these kind of orchestration tools, which means the automation tools that can ease your task. Let's say you have some, it's similar like robo. So you are going to instruct that, hey, open this window, open command prompt. Okay. Navigate to this so and so directory. Okay. And then make a directory. And then install so and so software. Okay. And then run so and so software. Then check. So all this, if you feed via instructions, then they can connect to all those 150 laptops at once and perform these operations at once in a single click. How easy that is. So if you do for 150 hours, this particular tool will do in 15 minutes. How much
Mm.
amount of hours we are saving? It's a huge savings, right? So for
Yes.
us, anyway, it is not that much savings, but you can make all these 150 people start working from tomorrow, right? So you are getting you are getting some productivity. You are they they are not going to stop working because of the reason that they don't have the laptop now, correct? Because they all have the delivered laptop and everything is working fine. And you can ask them, start coding. Hey, start coding and planning, and I need the application to be ready within next 2 days, correct? And just think of another other scenario that people are working. Let's say you, to improve the productivity, you have hired 10 more people and they are installing the laptop and the required softwares in parallel. Again, you have to give them the salary, right? Extra for those 10 people. And it's a manual effort. So all humans are tend to do mistakes. So you don't know until someone comes and complains that is something is not working. Correct. Again, you should check that uh, again it is not working and you need some time spent by the repair guy. So again you need to spend some money, correct?
Yes.
So how these kind of tools make our life simpler, clear?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So until this, you have any queries? You got a whole picture right now how the IT world works, and when we hit a browser and so and so website, how it works and etc.
Yes.
Great. So yeah, so this is for today. So just an overview of what is what and what tool is used for what and how we can take advantage of it. Then we can start look at Jira from tomorrow. So I'll start with Jira because that is the planning tool. But if you want to start with any other tool also, like Jenkins first and then Git second, then Ansible, Jira is at last. That is also up to your wish. So whatever is your need, uh, you can tell me, or else we can go as per plan. Like we can, so first planning tool, then coding tool, then building tool, then orchestration tool. So you can connect each other, and everything will go in a flow.
So we have to do this in practical, like Jira, Git, Jenkins, Assemble. We have to do in practically or theory. This one.
No, I'll give you the theory and I'll showcase you also for if you want to have some practice, I can
Yes.
give you some assignments or you can practice on your own so that you'll get hands-on for these tools.
No. First of all, you teach us practical, then we can do ours. First of all, you can show me how we do this one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, anyway, I'll show you because more I'll do labs only here in this. So I explain the theory while I'm doing lab. Okay, so that
Yes.
you will get more knowledge.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. Then
you
we,
don't have any questions for today?
yeah, no,
Okay,
no, we don't
good.
have.
So that you
Yes.
understood everything. I'm feeling happy. So
Yes.
Yes, we too are feeling happy. You teach us very well.
yeah, but my teaching speed and content, everything looks good, right? You don't find any difficulty in understanding, and my English accent is fine.
Yes,
My speed is fine, and the
Yes.
way I teach, everything you feel good, right?
good.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
okay. But if any corrections you need to perform from my end, please do so that I can improve my teaching as well. Okay, because that is what I'll ask everyone while I do this. Okay.
Okay.
So it's not that every time I'll teach to the same participant, right? So everyone will have different mindset. So that if you
Mm,
don't um, feel something that working now,